The most striking part of the Russell Library's exhibit gallery is this gorgeous mural. This work, titled Doors, is meant to give a snapshot look at the political history of Georgia from around 1900, when the library's collecting period starts, to about 2011, when the Special Collections building was ready to open. If you take a close look, you'll likely find some familiar faces and moments in Georgia history. So when the staff of the Russell Library was planning the exhibit spaces for their new building, they dreamed up the idea of a mural that could give people a glimpse into 100 years of political history. And then they turned to their friend, Art Rosenbaum. Art is a painter, muralist, illustrator, and emeritus professor of the University of Georgia's Lamar Dodd School of Art. The staff asked if he could tell the story of Georgia politics on a single wall. And he said, "Of course, I'm a muralist." Then they told him that because of fire code requirements, they had to put a door smack in the middle of that wall. And he still took the project. Art saw it all as a challenge, and he dove into research of the time period, guided by photographs, film footage, and other documents from the collections. He called the finished product Doors for a few reasons. The first is obvious, the aforementioned door built into the mural. But he said gradually that specific door became a metaphor for other doors. Doors to the future through integration, doors into the archives where the past informs the present and future. He included figures whom he personally admired, as well as those that he did not, knowing that the work needed to show the men and women who lived and made the history of their times, the bad and the good. He was actually the first person working here in the building, as he arrived months before the other staff, attaching canvas to this blank wall and starting to sketch before a single piece of furniture was in place. If you had seen him at work in the early days, it would have looked like he was painting in Georgia clay, as the base layer for the mural was made of ground red ochre pigment. Then he slowly overpainted in full color. Even cooler than seeing Art working on this mural was the fact that he was very open to suggestions for what to add up until he finished sketching. A lot of high-profile visitors would come through on early tours and see him working, and after they left, he'd turn to staff and say, "Should I put him in? Should I put her in?" At the far end of the mural, we see the staff members of the Russell Library doing their work to share this history with the public, working with students, filming oral histories, and preparing collections for research. My personal claim to fame is that I too am in this mural alongside my colleagues from the Russell. Even though I didn't love the outfit I wore that day, when Art asked me to be a part of this work, I said yes. When someone asks you to be a part of history, you say yes. In fact, none of us can say no, right? We are all part of history, good or bad, right or wrong. We each play a role in this great big story. But do be careful about your fashion choices, because history remembers those too.